Hey everyone, it's good to see you. Before we get into the video, I'm coming to you in my own art style to quickly let you know that there will be an important channel announcement at the end of this video, so stay tuned till the end if you want to hear it. That's all. Throughout the extensive history of the Pokémon franchise, Pokémon designs have taken inspiration from a plethora of different sources, from Japanese yokai to real, literal, entirely unchanged animals. Although the latter can be cute, the former generally makes for a more creative and iconic Pokémon design. One good source for Pokémon design inspiration can be found in cryptozoology, or, more specific, cryptids themselves. According to Merriam-Webster, a cryptid can be defined simply as an animal that has been claimed to exist but never proven to exist. Quick side note, but the definition here has a quote credited to Hayley Williams, and I can't help but wonder if I'm thinking of the right Hayley Williams. Anyways, famous examples of cryptids include Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, and my fellow Canadian friend, Ogopogo. There are even some real animals that were once cryptids, like the okapi and platypus. There are some already existing Pokémon whose designs and concepts are reminiscent of famous cryptids, whether it be intentional or not. For example, Zapdos is a pretty literal interpretation of the Thunderbird, a cryptid from the mythos of various indigenous groups including the Algonquin, Ojibwe, and Menominee people, among others. Sableye is based on the Hopkins Goblin, an alien-like cryptid said to have been spotted in Kentucky in 1955. So we're not necessarily diving headfirst into completely unexplored territory here when I say that in this video, we're going to be taking famous cryptids and using them as inspiration to design new Pokémon. The first cryptid we're going to be drawing inspiration from is the Fresno Nightcrawler. Yes, that's the best quality image I can find. The Fresno Nightcrawler, or Nightcrawlers since there are two of them, are strange little humanoid creatures captured on a surveillance camera in Fresno, California. They kind of resemble people without torsos on large stilts wearing flowing white pants. Anyways, I want my Nightcrawler Pokemon to feel like an alien, so I'm referencing elements of Algium and Deoxys. I play around with the silhouette and add a large eyebrow-type accent on the face so that it wouldn't be too simplistic. I experiment with the idea of hypnotic eyes as well as Pantham designs, but decide that my creature is better off on the simplistic side. I add a small oval around the face to better define where it is, and separate it from the rest of the body. Here we have Trowspector, the spooky leg Pokemon. Trowspector's name is derived from trousers, trounce, and specter. It's mono ghost with the abilities Unnerve and Dry Skin and the hidden ability Insomnia. Trowspector's base stat total is 465, with the highest stats being special attack and special defense, and the lowest being speed. Trowspector travel in pairs. If they lose their partner, another one appears out of thin air. Nobody has ever seen them appear, so it's unknown where they come from. The next cryptid we're going to Pokemonize is the Flatwoods Monster. The Flatwoods Monster is an entity sighted in West Virginia in 1952. It was reportedly sighted after a bright light flashed in the evening sky and seemingly landed on a patch of local farmland. The monster was never photographed, so the only descriptions of it are artist renditions from eyewitness descriptions. The one on screen right now is an illustration by artist Tim Bertelink. Let's get into it. Since many artist renditions depict the Flatwoods Monster as ambiguously metallic and scary, I'm looking to create a ghost steel type with design inspiration from Gothitelle, Magearna, and Klinklang. The Flatwoods Monster has iconically spooky claw-like hands, so I made sure to include those. It's always difficult to properly balance a humanoid design between too human and not human enough, but I did my best here and we ended up with Ortolan, the Iron Spectre Pokemon. Ortolan is a female-only species of Pokemon whose name is derived from Or and Eidolon, which means spectre or spirit. She has the abilities Tough Claws and Motor Drive with the hidden ability Galvanize. Her base stat total is 510, with the highest stats being attack and the lowest being speed. This Pokemon can be found trolling old barns and cornfields, collecting scrap metal from farm equipment. Nobody knows what she does with it. The last cryptid we're going to expand upon today in this video is the Aoi Sot, a creature of Aztec mythology. If you are or ever were a fan of My Little Pony, the Aoi Sot was actually turned into a side antagonist in the Friendship is Magic series, so you might recognize the name or concept from there. The Aoi Sot is a creature described as having a mammalian body and simian hands. It also has a long tail with a hand on the end of it. The Aoi Sot uses the hand on its tail to drag unsuspecting people underwater, where it drowns them. Scary, right? Well, Pokemon definitely aren't above luring people to their deaths. So I'd say this cryptid is as good an inspiration as any. I want this Pokemon to be a two-stage dog, like Houndoom or Mightyena, so let's start with the puppy stage. Well, you'll be starting with seeing the puppy stage. I actually worked backwards and designed the final stage before this one, so if it seems to be coming together with less experimentation than the previous two, that's why. I don't want to give the first stage full-on hands yet, nor do I want him to have the hand tail. Those aspects would stand out in a design, and make it harder to distinguish growth between two Pokemon if they both possess those traits. I make some strictly aesthetic design choices, and then we have the finished pup, Shoal, the shoreline Pokemon. Shoal is a dual dark water type with a base stat total of 370, with the highest stat being speed and the lowest tied between defense and special attack. It has the abilities Competitive and Intimidate, with the hidden ability Swift Swim. Shoal's name is derived from Pitbull and shoal, which means shallow in reference to water. Young Shoal live around large bodies of water, and although they are unable to swim, they show great distress if they are removed from the shore and don't calm down until they see the water again. Finally, we're moving on to the last Pokemon of the video. Shoal's evolution, the fully imagined Aoi Sot Pokemon. I do a lot of experimenting with design elements while creating this guy, like adding and removing neck fins and back spikes. I settle on aerodynamic fins on the back and arms, as well as only giving it hands on the front legs. I also had some trouble figuring out the color palette, but I eventually settled with one, and thus created the final design for Houndour, the murky water Pokemon. Houndour is a dual water-dark type like his Prevo, and they also share the same abilities. Houndour's base stat total is 521, with the highest stat being speed and the lowest stat being special attack. Houndour's name is derived from hound, like dog, and drown, which is what it will do to you. Houndour are elusive and independent Pokemon who are extremely territorial. They establish territory in deep bogs and stagnant lakes, and they will use the hand on the end of their tail to grab and drag any creature that they catch trespassing on their turf down into the deep, dark water. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. For those of you who still remember me mentioning my announcement, here it is. I have a Patreon. If you want to support me in the channel, I currently have 2 pledge tiers that you can read about on my page, link in the description. Don't sweat it if you can't or don't want to pledge, but it's there if you're interested. Anyways, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like or a comment letting me know what you think of my designs. You can also follow me on Twitter, Reddit, or TikTok, all under Teddicham. Have a good one!